Welcome to a very special edition of The Breakaway with David and Fabian. Today is election night, and we are well underway and deep into an election that has historical ripple effect on the rest of the country and the rest of the world for that matter. And there's a lot of things to go over today.
Oh, yeah, baby. It's finally time, right, Fabian? It's election night. We've been waiting for this moment. We've been doing battleground state updates for so long, and we finally get to watch the vote pour in across these battleground states.
It is beautiful to see.
It is beautiful to see. And, you know, I thought it was weird. 7 p.m. for Georgia to close. I mean, usually it's 8 p.m.
Yep.
So I was like, wow, it's 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. We'll probably start to have a good feel of what's going on.
Yep.
And you and I saw those exit polls right away. What was it? Like 11% plus for independents compared to 6% when it was in 2020. Insane. Double the vote of black
males.
Oh my.
So Trump since 2020, 2024, Trump went from 11% amongst black males to 22%. He literally doubled it. And we know that people like 4G Auto Blow and a lot of the rappers like Lil Wayne and 3 6, I don't know the guy's name.
Everybody.
All the rappers. Maybe there's something about it, you know?
It definitely is. I mean, you're seeing it play across Georgia right now. North Carolina, right? I mean, listen, I don't want to get too happy right now, but a lot of the percentage of the vote is in already in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. And I don't know if it's too much like it was in 2020, where there's a lot of mail-in ballots to rescue them and to slowly drain out Trump's lead. But right now, I mean, it's looking pretty solid. And
yeah, why don't we throw up some numbers here?
Yeah, let's do it.
By the way, everyone, thank you for all 200 people listening on TikTok Live. We are live streaming right now. If you go to the link in my bio, you'll see the link to the YouTube, and you can watch us on YouTube instead of watching us on that little screen there.
That's right. And again, on YouTube, if you see us looking left or right and it looks a little weird, that's because we have TikTok Live running simultaneously. And you have hundreds of people on. I have hundreds of people on our TikTok Live. So you guys make sure that you flock on over to our YouTube or to our X, wherever it is. The links are in our bio. You can find us there and you can see the actual stream, hear the audio through the mics. And Fabian, let's get through it.
Let's do it.
Should I a little bit zoom in on the places I'm talking about? Is that better?
Yep, that's great.
All right, so Georgia. Why don't we start with Georgia? We're 91% of the votes already in. I'm proud of Georgia and Florida.
Let's zoom out a little bit, actually.
Zoom out just a little. How about?
Yep, that's perfect.
How about that? Yep. There you go. Okay, so Florida, maybe just a little more so we can see. There we go. Florida, that's something we should just start the night by talking about, because they were saying that Trump's going to win Florida by 8%. It's already declared victory and has a 13% margin on there.
It has over 1 million votes, more than she has. And just so people know this, when Ron DeSantis ran for the first time and won, Florida was a very, very contentious state. I mean, he won by what, a few percentage points?
Yeah, yep. It was super tight. There was barely anybody, you know, what is it? It was like 20,000, 30,000.
It was something ridiculous.
Super close. It was super close. And I think the reality of it is that people start to see how Republicans govern. We have that in 2018 with Kemp. He barely won Georgia's gubernatorial race. He won by like 10 or 20,000 votes. And Stacey Abrams, by the way, never conceded that race.
Yeah, she never did. Yeah.
So, but he barely won that. And then second time around, he won an absolute landslide. And what we're going to see here in a second with Trump in Georgia is that pretty much Trump is replicating that the same time around, is that he is seeing the same kind of victory so far, at least in Georgia, still not declared, that Kemp had in when he won second time around against Stacey Abrams.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Trump did a much better job at coming into Atlanta, Georgia this campaign. I know last time you were talking about he was going to places 100 miles away, et cetera. He's been in Atlanta so many times. We saw him twice here, and he's really put the work in, and we can see that with the numbers that you're about to go over. So
yeah, let's go over these numbers. So first of all, Georgia, 16 electoral votes. It's an important path to victory for Kamala Harris. It's not a must win for her in order to actually have an electoral college win here, but it's definitely one of those key paths that she's been campaigning about. You and I went undercover 2 weeks ago.
Yes,
And
we
then
did.
last week ago, or like a couple days ago, we
Yep.
went to another rally. So she's been here just as much as Trump because she understands that it's a key battleground state to win. And again, she doesn't really need to win Pennsylvania in order to win the Electoral College, but she would have needed to win Georgia. So this closes some gaps here. And so far, right now, what is this? Over 150,000 votes to separate them with less than 9% of the votes in. And people are always scared after what happened in 2020. Huh?
You said 9% of the vote in.
Yeah. Sorry, excuse me. That's what I meant. Yeah. And a lot of people, after exactly what happened last time, with so many votes pouring in the big counties around Atlanta, Georgia, which is Fulton County, Gwinnett County, Cobb County, DeKalb County. Well, these counties have reported majority of their votes already. That means a lot less people actually voted by mail. Why? COVID's not here, right? And they also got around, they passed certain state legislation.
Funny business happening that now is no longer happening.
Exactly. So Fulton County is already 91% of the vote in. 72% is how much Kamala took it. Donald Trump, 27%. Now, here's the key thing. This is about the same way that Joe Biden won it, but the difference is that a lot less people actually voted for Kamala. So the separation of the total votes is actually way less. And again, he built himself a pretty big firewall here. It's going to take a lot for her.
We've been looking at it all night. It started at 200,000 and it really didn't go down. Once it hit 200, it hit 300, then went to 150, but it's been in that 200 to 250,000 vote range, which is a great thing to have when you have votes trickling in later on at night into the early morning. Counted.
It's exactly what you want, honestly. I found it funny. You asked me, you were like, damn, Savannah is a blue state or like a blue county, or like a blue city. And I was like, yeah, man. Unfortunately, all the big cities.
Yeah, what's that? Can you zoom it in right there? That's what, 60-40 is what Savannah, Georgia.
It's not as bad as Fulton County. Nowhere near as bad as, let me show you one of these counties here. So Clayton County is one of those counties. It's just south of Atlanta, Georgia. 85% of that county is voting for Kamala Harris. This isn't a small county where there's a couple thousand people. As you can see, it's over 115,000 people in that county. Similar to, where's the other one? DeKalb County, 82% to 17%.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's huge. And look at that. That's way more than the people that were in Clayton County. This is almost 350,000. Yeah, that's crazy, right?
That's a lot.
But so Georgia is an interesting thing. But again, glad to see those numbers already pour in. The rest of those numbers are going to trickle in. Why don't we look at another really important state that, people were thinking that I personally thought that would probably go to Kamala. But so far, pretty good with 85% of the votes already counted and in.
Zoom in on that a bit.
Trump. Oops. Let's see. I just want to keep that thing on the right corner so people can see. With 85% of the votes in, Trump has a 3% margin lead there. It's over 120,000 votes in there. Again, same thing that we're seeing across that we're seeing in Georgia. Raleigh, which is one of those major big Democrat strongholds for them. Majority of the votes are in already. 85% of the votes in. Charlotte, 92% of the votes in. Gentry. Gentry is one of the people that, well, I don't want to dox him on here, but anyways, Greensboro, like, look, majority of the Democrat strongholds, majority of the votes are already in. Right. And he has a sizable lead. It's exactly what you want to see happening. So, Fabian, what do you think so far across the Sun Belt over here?
So I'm looking at North Carolina and I'm feeling good. I felt great about South Carolina. Virginia is a little closer than I thought it would be, but it's really good to see those numbers. I know Decision Desk called it for Kamala Harris already, but other places have not. And you and I were talking about it. Why would they call it so early when we're looking at the numbers in Virginia? And it's looking like, I mean, she
just took the lead, unfortunately, but for a while there, it was looking good. Like until the 75% margin, like majority of the night, he was in the lead. And it was. I was like, what? Why did they even call it just yet? And but I think this is a wake-up call because if 80% of the vote is in Virginia and she just now took the lead by 10 to 20,000 votes or so, that says a lot, right?
That's a big wake-up call. And you have those East Coast Virginians that do things their own way. And it seems like they're finally waking up because I mean they haven't voted red in a very, very long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, now, as far as I know, the other states that she has to win are Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. She needs to cover those.
Which one we want to dive in?
Let's actually go into Wisconsin actually.
Wisconsin, 57% of the votes in. So Fabian, I'll
Can you
let
zoom
you
in a
do
bit?
this one on this one. Yeah, you just tell me what you want me to do. But on the top right corner, you have the overall.
Yeah, so we have the overall. Trump is at 49.9, and then Harris is at 48.6. Maybe you can zoom in a little bit closer to that.
To the actual thing.
Yeah.
Here we go. Or to the actual map, which you want to zoom in on.
Yeah, you know what? I can actually share it here. Probably be easier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me do that.
Yeah. I think that's a better idea. So we'll remove that. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this on TikTok Live, if you have no idea what we're talking to, we are actually on a stream on YouTube X. So please head on over to the link in the bio, whether it's my page, Fabian's page. It's going to take you to either X, YouTube, Rumble, whatever it is. I don't think we're on Rumble. We're just on X.
We're not on
YouTube
Rumble right now.
But yeah, head on over there and you can actually see the stream, which has the map that we're looking at. You can see in detail the counties that we're looking at, all the data that we're looking at. You can hear a crisp audio on there because we're talking into our mics on there. So make sure you head on over there. And Fabian, take us into Wisconsin, brother.
Okay, so I wanted to come up with Wisconsin, and let me know if I need to zoom in or not.
Okay.
How it looks on the screen.
It looks fantastic here.
Okay, so we have it actually leaning red.
The overall, already, baby.
The overall, with only 57% of the vote in, we have it actually leaning red, and that's pretty incredible. So Donald Trump is leading 49.9% compared to Kamala's 48.6%. 57% of the vote in. She has about a 20,000 vote lead, which isn't much, but it is something. Now we see that Green Bay here has about 35% of the votes in, and we can see here that Trump is actually leading Kamala Harris by about a 60-40 margin, which is very nice to see over in Brown County. And Madison is 86%. This is one of Kamala Harris's much stronger counties, and she's 75%, 74-25. But 85% of those votes are already in, so we don't have to keep counting those such disproportionate votes. Milwaukee County, about half of the votes are in. She's leading 67% to 31%. But overall, I kind of like when we see these blue counties start reporting first.
Absolutely.
Because then we know that this is what she has to work with, and then everything else we can fill in around. So,
yep. That's my favorite thing about the night so far is that usually it's the non-metropolitan areas reporting first, and then you see the big numbers come in and the leads cut off. Well, Tonight, baby, the big areas were reporting first. So yeah, Kamala was up 150,000 first in Pennsylvania, up in Wisconsin at first because of Milwaukee and these various areas, Madison reporting and whatnot. But guess what, baby? That shook me when you said that. What? Wait,
lean R,
because it was toss up like before we started the live stream, just like 15 minutes ago. So Fabian, I have another great surprise for you. If you go right, you'll also see something changed.
If I go right,
if you go right from Wisconsin, what does that say now? That it went from toss up to what? What is Michigan now? What does Michigan tell us?
Michigan is
a what?
Is leaning Republican.
Ooh, baby.
With let's see this here. Let's see this. We were just in Detroit. Actually, we were just outside of Detroit for a little bit, around the Flint area here, and the Oakland area. And I'll tell you what, we were looking for a shirt. We had a shirt printed, and we were going out. We were at a Turning Point convention, and I was really surprised at how many Trump supporters there were outside of Detroit. It's actually pretty incredible. Just something I never expected. So, who knows what the vote is here? Oakland County 54-44, Ann Arbor, Harris 66-31, with about 68% of the votes coming in. I did not expect this early with only 26% of the vote showing.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to actually see, because it's not showing us how much of the vote Jill Stein is taking, but I bet in Michigan, a lot of it is being ate up by Jill Stein.
Yeah. Can you explain that to everyone?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you want to take over the,
so what is it? Dearborn is the name of the city.
Dearborn
is the largest population of Muslims in the United States. It's a huge community, right?
Yep.
And of course, they're disenfranchised with everything that's happening right now in Israel, Gaza, and just in the Middle East and whatnot. And we'll leave that for a different night, because it's always so funny to me about this whole situation. But anyways, they're of course disenfranchised by that. they're not going to get Kamala Harris, or they're disenfranchised with Democrat leaders because of their position on Israel.
Yeah, because they actually don't want to go against Israel just because they have a few thousand people in Michigan. I mean, think of it.
Exactly. But the Muslim community can see straight through that. They like Trump more, although how he is pro-Israel. Don't get that. Don't be confused whatsoever. But at the same time, sorry, I'm just watching these leads get bigger and bigger. At the same time, Trump is not for wars, right? So he's actually going to most likely have a way or some sort of influence to end the war, which is what majority of the Muslim community in Michigan wants. So I'm actually looking that up right now to see how much Jill Stein is getting. So let's see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
Associated Press election results, because the New York Times isn't showing it, but Associated Press will. Thank you, Associated Press.
And by the way, I just for an overall feeling on how we're feeling, I will say I'm feeling pretty confident right now. I know it's still early, but I mean these are a lot better than expected numbers right now. Like literally, we have Wisconsin looking good, Michigan looking good, North Carolina looking good, Georgia looking great. It's Pennsylvania looking good. Those are all the states.
Yeah,
really. There's no clear path. There's no path to victory.
Well, let's draw the path right now for everybody. So Georgia, if he takes, that's great. North Carolina, if he takes, from there we need Arizona, and we don't even need Nevada. We don't.
Are you looking at the screen now that you're sharing? Or?
Oh, sorry.
If you want to point those out.
Yeah. So let me point those out. So I can't highlight them, but you know what we can do actually? So
if you hover over them, it selects it, I think.
No, it's not. That's 270 to win, which is exactly where we're gonna go right now.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's a great place.
Yeah, exactly.
So David's gonna pull out the electoral map now so we can show you what it would look like with each state's victory. So this is what it looks like. And go ahead and zoom in on it.
Okay, so is that better right there?
Move it. Yep.
Okay.
Little out. That's good because you're only going to do the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll include a little Arizona in there, but okay. So let's say that Georgia goes red, right? North Carolina goes red.
Well, the only thing is we can't see the number at the top.
Okay. Let's do this then. How about that?
Go up a little bit.
A little higher up?
Yep.
There we go.
Even more? Yep. That's what works.
All right. So what we're looking at right
Actually,
now,
I just put it full screen, so go ahead. That's a lot easier.
Like that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So right now, this is what we're looking at. Most likely, Georgia is going to end up going for Trump. North Carolina is looking pretty positive for Trump. So what we're left with is that we need to win Arizona. Let's say we win Arizona, right? Then we're looking at 262
also,
to 226.
Also, everyone, direct your eyes to the top there where it says 262 Republicans, the very top, and 226 Democrats. Whenever David selects one of the states, those numbers are going to change directly, dependent on how many electoral votes each state has. So you're going to see you need 270 to get to the magic number to win the presidency. That's why it's called 270 to win. And up there, when you see 262 Republicans, he's going to show you what that's going to change depending on which states are won.
Yep, exactly. So, let's say Arizona is one, which right now we'll go back to it in a second. We'll see exactly where that is. But let's say he wins Arizona. He's doing pretty well there. Well, in that case, we don't necessarily need Pennsylvania. Let's just say in the case she does get Pennsylvania. Actually, we don't even want to play that scenario. Let's say that he wins Wisconsin. There you go. He's over 270. Yep. So this is the next two states that we're actually looking for because Pennsylvania is probably going to take a few days. We need Arizona and we need Wisconsin. And if we can seal this up in the next hour, we can
we could be happy campers.
We can be happy campers.
And hope we could be happy campers and have an expectation that there won't be a 3 a.m. ballot drop where Biden or where Harris gets 600,000 votes out of nowhere.
And explain to the people that are just joining in why we're pretty confident in that.
Yeah. So what happened last election is there was they call it a ballot dump. There was about 600,000 votes that came in 3 a.m. overnight in very kind of shady conditions, which is what some people refer to as what I can't say it because we're on YouTube,
live on various
but what happened to the election. So there have been many measures that have been implemented across many states, especially here in Georgia, making it much harder to get a ballot without verifying who you are. Many more hurdles to jump through, and make it very hard for anyone who's not supposed to vote not to vote. So because things like that, we feel confident that we're not going to have another surge like this. In addition to that, the RNC, Laura Trump, who is heading the lawyers for the RNC, said that she said we have 500 lawyers in every single swing state.
And we saw that in action today, right? Throughout the day, there was reports from various locations, polls, not this, that, whatever, right?
Yep.
And the RNC was on top of it.
Yeah.
And that is what I see a clear difference between 2020 and 2024 today, is that we're so much more prepared, Fabian. We're actually ready to litigate whatever it is right away in court. In some certain areas in Pennsylvania, Republicans, or in general, Republican strongholds, something happened with machines. They went down. Well, they were able to litigate it and extend the ability to cast a ballot for an additional 3 hours, right? So various things like this show that if we're organized, if we're all on the same page, I mean, we may not disagree about, or we may not agree about all the policies and whatever, but we don't want Kamala, right? As long as that's the main stated goal, we can get organized like we just showed and draw over a bunch of individuals like RFK, Elon Musk, blah, blah, blah. And look what we can get from this.
Yeah, it's turning out a lot better than expected. Like I said, you heard the term landslide getting thrown around. I didn't want to talk about that. I didn't want to entertain it just because you don't want to do something like that. Number one, you don't want your potential voters to say, well, there's no reason for me to go. He's going to win. I can sit back and just eat a pizza instead. No, you want to make it close to get those people out, to make sure that they go out and vote. Now, we did see some exit polls, and I think the number one issue, which was very interesting, the number one issue when they asked people questions when they exited the polls, what's your favorite or what's your most important issue? And they said the state of our democracy, our democracy. And that was really incredibly interesting to hear, because abortion was 14%. Immigration was 11%.
Crazy.
I don't understand how that is possible.
Insane.
11%. That's one of the, I would say, besides the economy, it's the biggest issue facing us, because it does affect the economy.
Well, let's think about this. When they say the state of the democracy, I think you and I we thought the same thing right away, because we said it to each other. It's like, that can go both ways, right?
Who's democracy?
Who's democracy, right? I understand Democrats can play the card, because that's all they've done the last 2-3 years, is just try to scare their people into thinking that democracy is really on the line for them. But maybe the infiltration in terms of illegal immigration and how that is a threat to our democracy can be the pack into that, right?
Yeah, it was, you know what? I think it was, so for instance, the voters didn't go up to them and say, oh, my biggest issue is a threat to our democracy. They were giving multiple choice. So I feel like that question could have been done a little better to really separate what it was that they actually meant from either side.
Yeah,
because that would have helped us get a lot more clarity on it.
Exactly. Well, let me give you some more clarity on things right here, Fabian, because just another thing just happened right now. So the big boogeyman with 68% in. So first of all, we have Wisconsin lean right from a toss-up, right?
Wait, can you put on that screen you're looking at?
Oh, yep. Oh, oops. Sorry. Let's share this tab. There you go. So we have Wisconsin lean right. Go from toss-up to lean right. We had
60% of the vote in
Michigan with just 28% of the vote already tilt right, lean right. And what goes further right from Michigan?
Let's go all the way to the P.
Boom, boom, boom. Another new qualification. They are now saying that rather than it being a toss-up Pennsylvania with more than 68% of the votes in, that it is now leaning right.
Can we go and look at Pennsylvania, look at the counties?
Yes.
I want to see what Allegheny County looks like, Philadelphia area.
Yeah, and you help me out, actually, because I'm not too, you know this area better.
Okay, yeah, let me go ahead and...
you want to do this? And
yeah.
And if you do that, what I can do in the same time is I already have the 2020 election results pulled up per county from Pennsylvania. So I'll start with letting you know what it was in what is it? Allegheny?
Allegheny.
Allegheny. Okay. So in Allegheny in 2020, it went 59% to 39% for Joe Biden. 430,000 votes for Joe Biden, 280.
This is in 2020.
This is in 2020. So I'm wondering what we can do for our viewers right now is just essentially compare the 2020 numbers with what we're already seeing right now. And again, for the folks on TikTok, we really appreciate everybody. Hey, TikTok people.
This is David. Let me show you David. David, you can talk to both TikToks.
Hey, what's going on? And then this is Fabian here.
That's me.
As you guys can all see, we are streaming on YouTube and X, and it's all in our links in our bio. So whether you're on Fabian's or on my page, head on over to the link in our bio, YouTube, X, press whatever it is. It'll take you to our stream where we're actually about to go down to the detail to every single county, not every single county, but the major counties in Pennsylvania, how they performed in 2020 and what we're looking at right now. Again, guys, you will see the actual map. You'll see us on there. You'll hear better audio because we're talking there on our actual mics. It's a stream. Come on in there, guys. Have a good time because we're having a good time.
Oh, it's a great night so far.
It's a great night so far. Again, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but Fabian, actually, I'm going to steal for just 1 second the screen for you just to show the folks what Decision Desk is actually showing us. So
you gotta make sure you share the right screen.
Yep. So share this tab. So Decision Desk, which is head by the Hill, is now giving President Trump a 78.5% chance, the highest it's been the entire night, to win the Electoral College.
That's 80-20.
That's 80-20.
That's 80-20.
That's 80-20. And that's crazy.
Do you understand? Everyone watching right now,
baby,
and you guys on TikTok, do you understand how fun it's going to be? 4 years of Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, Tucker Carlson, RFK, Ron Paul. I can keep going. It's going to be the most fun. The next 4 years of Donald Trump presidency is going to be the most fun and the most transparent presidency that we've ever had. Imagine that. All ran through Twitter.
Oh, baby.
The media won't have a chance to be a middleman and take what someone said and then tell you what they said, because Twitter will give you the information completely directly at the speed of light. That's going to be so fun.
Fabian, I'm so happy to announce this, that we just jumped to 82% from what we were at, just at 78%. Wow. You know why? They just announced that he won Georgia and North Carolina.
No way.
Yes, sir, baby. We are now looking at a new total. This is our new total right now.
They called it for him.
246, Trump. Harris is at 162. And guys, he's even beating her in the total vote right now.
47 million to 42 million.
And here's the most important thing. People say, well, wait till California rolls in. Well, guess what? The map that I'm looking at, California is already included in this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, guys.
And, you know, I don't
want
to
get... saying in the comments, so proud of our citizens, Latinos for Trump. Good to see you guys.
Hey, everyone.
Glad to see the work you guys been putting in. So everything.
Yeah. So everyone on the live, we again just to reiterate, we are actually live right now on YouTube, on X, and hello everyone on David's stream, and hello everyone on my stream. Let's say hi to each stream. Sorry. So we are live right now on YouTube and X. We are doing a deep dive into the numbers. So if you'd like to see us with better audio, then you're going to go ahead and go over to the link in the bio. It's YouTube. So just hit the YouTube link and then you'll find us there. So you can hear us a little better, but you can just relax here and tune in. So I want to go to something.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. So all you know.
Pennsylvania, but actually I wanted to kind of go to a different screen of something very similar to what you're seeing.
Okay.
They just give Idaho to Trump. I don't know if this is late, but
Idaho potatoes.
Okay, so this is kind of the same thing that you're looking at, just a little differently, and it kind of makes it easy for the. And let me know if I need to zoom in. So these are swing states outlined. So you see this black outline here, outline here, outline here, right? These are all the swing states that have these dials on them. And Michigan, you can see it's leaning right, leaning Republican. Georgia, they said so they called it officially.
Well, at least what I just saw on this, what were we looking at? We're looking at Decision Desk, right?
Yeah, I think that's what we're
Decision
looking at.
Desk has it called Georgia. Yeah, they declared Decision Desk.
Yeah.
So this is very this isn't some bullshit thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you see the check, or well, you can't see it here. Let me.
yeah.
Well, I'll just let you guys know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
basically, they've declared Trump as the winner of Georgia. Decision Desk already did.
Mhm.
And the same thing has applied for North Carolina, which has now brought the total to, again, 246 to 162.
Wow. Wow.
This is according to Decision Desk. I can't say that that's for New York Times.
Got it.
So,
Okay. Well, Michigan here we have, this is New York Times that I'm on right now. They have Michigan leaning right, Wisconsin leaning right, Georgia leaning right, North Carolina leaning right, Pennsylvania leaning right. The only thing that out of all these, and it's not even a swing state, was Virginia, and she won that by 2%, or she's winning that by 2%. We don't know what the final tally is going to be. It's only 60,000 vote difference, which is nothing. I mean, that's not much. Nevada numbers haven't come out yet, but I mean, this is literally everything that he needed to do. He's winning every single swing state.
that is
Every single swing state.
Wait, Fabian. Do you see that it still says Minnesota is a toss up? It's still wow.
That's
Is
insane.
that the forecast? Wait, go down.
Oh,
301
So
forecast?
this is a live forecast. Likely Trump 88% chance of winning. According to the New York Times, Trump has an 88% chance of winning. And the estimates as they run these algorithms and these possible outcomes, Trump has anywhere from they think he will get anywhere from 251 to 333, Harris 205 to 287, and I guess you take the average of those two numbers, and we have 301 to 27 to 237 range of estimate. So this is not looking good in any way, shape, or form for the Kamala Harris campaign. They must be literally shitting themselves right now.
Fabian, it's with 72% of the votes in Pennsylvania. So this is 7% more than what we just talked about in like 10 minutes ago.
Take over it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. So you got me on here. Okay.
Yep.
And this is the right page already. No, not yet. Share this tab. So let's go on here. And this again is New York Times. So I see some people commenting, where can we go and look at this information ourselves and see this stuff and whatnot. We really like this New York Times interactive map because it actually goes down to the county.
Yeah.
And then we can go and compare it to the performances of it before. So
sorry.
What
I just
happened?
wanted to say Allegheny County, Kamala is winning 60-40.
60-40.
But 93% of the votes are already in.
Okay.
So that in Philadelphia are the largest areas.
Wow, look at that. Okay, so let me just tell the people what we were doing pretty much until we got on the live. We were looking at this interactive map, but not just looking at the states. We were clicking on the states and going down to the county like we are right now and looking at how Kamala is performing compared to Biden in 2020. And we just kept seeing the same thing over and over, whether it was in the suburbs or the rural counties in Atlanta,
Yep.
and whether it's now in Pennsylvania. That's what we were doing. We're looking at how she was performing, and she consistently just kept performing worse and worse compared to 2020. We saw the exit polls that Fox News was talking about, and again, it's very reflective of what's going on in here, because look, she is now down, if I'm doing the math correct, what is that? 140,000 votes in Pennsylvania, with 72% of the votes counted already. And
Wow.
So to give an example, people, of how we did this, right? So again, how's this county? Allegheny County, 60-40. That is what's right now. Kamala's winning it 60-40. So we would go here, share this tab, and this is how Biden did compared to it before. He also won it 60-40. So that's one thing to watch there. But he got 430,000 votes. So let's go see how many she got. She's gotten 392,000. So there's what you're looking at, right?
Yep.
And that's probably exactly what is happening in Philadelphia County, Montgomery County, probably, right? She's probably getting the same amount of percentage, but just not as many
Not
voters
as many
coming in.
total votes coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So her percentage of winning is staying the same, but the actual number of votes is going down. And the rural vote, we saw that it was up significantly all across all states. We saw the early poll exits numbers, and rural voters really came out, and urban voters actually didn't come out from what we're seeing with the exit polls. So people that live in the cities, this is exactly what those exit polls were saying, didn't go to vote. This is why we're seeing a lower number in these Allegheny County, Philadelphia County, but the overall percentage is staying the same, which is exactly what you and I were talking about. If she doesn't have enthusiasm amongst her supporters, they're not going to go out and vote. And that's what we like to happen. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now.
Somebody actually in the TikTok comment said, this looks a lot like 2020. We're going to go to sleep, and then we're going to wake up and she's going to be ahead. Fabian, I think you perfectly explained that just about 10-15 minutes ago. I'm sure people are just joining in and tuning in. The reason why we're confident and we're pretty happy over here, why don't you explain to the folks again?
Sure. So since 2020, there's been a massive overhaul of the voting systems in most of the states in the country. The lawyers have been actively working to plug up any holes, meaning the way people vote, at what time things can come in. Should you accept ballots that come in 3 days after the election, like some states were trying to, you immediately issued a lawsuit. Sometimes one of them even went to the Supreme Court just the other day. I think that was a Virginia one, wasn't it?
Correct.
Where Virginia wanted to keep 1,600 or so non-citizens off its voting roll, and then they were sued to keep them on. Well, it went up to the Supreme Court, and they sided with Virginia. Common sense solutions. And only that, not only that, we've had a lot of changes, making it much harder to get mail-in ballots, to submit your vote if you're not on the voter rolls, and not as many people selected to have mail-in ballots because it wasn't COVID. We weren't all at home stuck in our houses. The next is the RNC's game has increased significantly. The Republican National Committee has increased their ground game with lawyers and their ability to actually fight things when they're happening. The RNC has 500 lawyers in every single swing state, which is insane. And there's over 230,000 poll watchers across the country.
Wow.
200, that's 250,000 people are watching the polls. There are many more cameras inside these voting booths or voting locations. You have election poll watchers. You typically have one from the Democratic Party and one from the Republican Party. And if they see some abnormality, they can speak and then issue an investigation. But more than that, you have public poll watchers. And last election, as we saw, they were boarding up the place where they're counting the votes so nobody could see. Well, that's all gone now. You have a place for poll watchers. A public can come see. There are cameras everywhere. So everything is being monitored. And it's sad that we have to get to this point where we have to monitor our elections to make sure that they're safe. But that's where we're at. And I'm very glad to see the RNC has done that. And just public citizens. So that's why I think we're not going to see a 3 a.m. ballot dump again.
I agree with you. Perfectly said and perfectly explained. So there you have it for the good comment. That's actually was a good question in the TikTok chat right there. Guys, if you have any questions for us, you can leave them in there. We'll happily address them. But again, that's why Fabian and I are pretty confident again here. As Fabian just beautifully explained that to you guys. So I want to again
quick guys, for everyone on TikTok.
Yes,
we are live right now. David is live over here. Hello, everyone from David's stream, everyone from my stream. If you want to see the actual live that we're looking at and the maps and all this stuff and clear audio, you can go to the link in our bios, which is going to YouTube. So go ahead and go to YouTube and you'll see it. David's streaming. I'm streaming. We're streaming it on the Breakaway USA page. We're also streaming on X. So we're streaming on so many different platforms, but we can see the totality of numbers here on our screen, and it's in the hundreds. So it's great to see everyone here.
Yeah, welcome, guys. And we really appreciate you guys joining us. I know a lot of people are streaming right now. A lot of crazy stuff's going on. Everybody's having parties. So the fact that you guys are choosing to watch The Breakaway with Fabian and myself here is fantastic. We appreciate it. Smash the like button. Thanks for all the new people that just literally just hopped on. We just saw the numbers shoot up there like that. So we really appreciate it. Thumbs up in the chats. Any questions, leave them in there. But let's talk briefly about Wisconsin. So I was telling Fabian, you will see Wisconsin be only 60,000 votes apart, but that is huge for Wisconsin. So, and that's exactly how much Trump is leading right now with 64% of the votes in. But one thing I do want to just have everybody just keep in mind there, you will shrink drastically because of the error that occurred with the tabulation machines in Milwaukee. They will have to hand count 30,000 ballots in Milwaukee. So Milwaukee, why don't we just go back? We'll flip right back to the website that we're on, and why don't we just take a look at Milwaukee, what they're voting like? So they're 67 to 31%. So probably about 70% of the 30,000 ballots will go towards Kamala. But again, that is nowhere near the amount that is needed.
Yeah, because what's she down right now?
Is where she is down. What is that? Oh, it just extended again. She's almost down 70,000 votes now in Milwaukee.
So there's 30,000 votes that have to get recounted, and she'll get about 70% of that.
Correct.
Okay, so let's say like 23-ish.
Yeah.
So add that, and how much is he up right now?
Right now, he's up about 70,000, about 70,000 votes.
Okay, so we can wash those out. It'll get closer, but it's
50,000. Listen, he won Milwaukee in 2016 by like 15,000 votes. Biden won it in a landslide by 20,000 votes in 2020. 50,000 votes with whatever left. Like I'm okay with him winning all of Wisconsin by 10,000 votes, 20,000 votes, but more than that, that's a big screw you in the face.
It is, because if they called it a landslide for Joe Biden with 20,000, what's 50,000 going to do? Literally over double what Biden was able to do.
Exactly. Why don't we take a peek at Minnesota? Now they have it classified as lean D from a toss-up, so as expected. But Michigan, so again, just update it in front of you guys. Now she's down 6%.
Can you zoom in a little more?
Absolutely. She's down 6% now. With 32% of the votes in Michigan.
Are these which of the counties are the ones that have a high? Because I know we were looking at Detroit and Grand Rapids and Arbor earlier, but has that gotten any higher?
So the one thing that I am seeing is that Wayne County hasn't really reported anything just yet. It's only 1%, so that'll drastically go down. But why don't we go back out for just a second? If you look at the top right corner there, you'll see that he's almost up by. Oh, let's see. Was that better right there?
Yeah,
he's up by almost 1 million. Or sorry, by 100,000 votes, right? So that's a lot to make up in these counties like Wayne County. Another one is Oakland County, but that is 77% of the vote in, and it's not too favorable for Kamala.
No, it's actually really close.
It's very close. Another one is Kent County, home of Grand Rapids, and it's also not too favorable for Kamala in terms of it's not like a 70-30 break. It's 58-40% break with 42% of the votes in. The reason why it's important that we need to identify the high counties is like the 70-80% breaks is because if she is going to somehow make up this 80,000 deficit that she has in Michigan, it's going to be in these very, in the metropolitan areas in Detroit, right? So we'll see when Wayne County starts to report what's going on. Looks like they just have 1% of it in, but Michigan it's going to be something to keep an eye on. Again, guys, all of these are cherry on tops because Fabian, why don't we just briefly show the folks again, all the new people that are joining in, and we appreciate everybody that's in here, is what is the current path to victory for President Trump and what is everything looking like now? Depends on what you're looking at. New York Times hasn't just yet announced that he won Georgia and North Carolina, but the decision desk has announced Georgia and North Carolina for Trump. More than 90% in both states are in, so we're pretty confident with that. Most likely next, we will see Arizona fall down. And what we would like to see happen after that is Wisconsin happen. And as you guys can see on the top of the screen is that as more states go red, he reaches the 270 threshold. He can win Nevada, of course. He's doing pretty well in Michigan. If he wins everything, we're looking at a 312 to 226.
That looks like what it will probably end up at, barring something that we don't see. But let's say he loses Wisconsin, he'll lose 10, he'll still win. Right? If we put Wisconsin, Minnesota rather.
Minnesota.
Yeah, so if Minnesota goes.
Minnesota, he's blue. It's.
Oh,
done.
sorry, you already. Sorry,
yeah.
Wisconsin.
Michigan. Okay, yeah, Michigan. Let's say he loses Michigan.
He's still good.
What I think happens is that there's no way that Michigan goes blue or red without Wisconsin. So let's say she does win Michigan. Let's say she does win Nevada. Let's say she wins Pennsylvania.
That would be a weird looking map.
That would be a weird
That'd
looking
be
map,
very weird. But he would still win.
He would still win.
This is in part because Georgia was such a crucial state. Georgia and Pennsylvania, everyone knew that it was going to come down to Georgia and Pennsylvania. Georgia looks like it's in the bag, barring some, I don't know what. And Pennsylvania looking more and more like it's going red.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you lose those two states, as a professional politician, as a professional campaign person, you know that your chances are basically done. Done. You can't. There's a very unclear path to victory if you lose Pennsylvania and Georgia, and they were even hoping for North Carolina. All those look, at least for the first two, for Georgia and North Carolina, look squarely in the red column, and it's looking like Pennsylvania too. Now, I was in Pennsylvania last month, and I was up in Trump County. I was up in right in the middle of Pennsylvania. And it was all Trump, all Trump. And then I went to maybe like an hour away from Pittsburgh, out kind of in the mountain areas. That is Trump country as well. Every single house has a Trump sign on. You don't see any Harris Waltz sign until you go to Pittsburgh. And even then, it's only certain areas of Pittsburgh, the more gentrified areas, or, the not around it. And that's really the same for every place. But I've never seen so much Trump support in Pennsylvania, and I go there often. And the same thing with Nevada. We were talking about this. I was in Nevada, and 6 months ago, and I told my friend, what has happened here? Like, when did Nevada become patriotic like this?
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, it's crazy. So, I've seen Trump there. It's incredible to see the change in culture.
It truly is. And, you would tell me last time you went, you're like, actually the other day even showed me that, like, bro, what are these pro-Trump huge rallies essentially going on in California, like in Hollywood Boulevard, right? What did you show me the other day? Like, a bunch of Trump flags it was over the weekend.
Yeah, in Orange County is Trump country now.
Yeah,
it's Trump country now. Los Angeles, I'm waiting to see. I'm actually on the page right now. I'm waiting to see the votes that are coming out here. So it looks like for California. Let me go ahead and share this here.
Oh, baby, we have new also stuff coming in. So
you want to go? Because I'm going to do California. It's not that pressing.
Okay, yeah. So I think this is on the map. So to go to the West Coast a little bit, we have a new state that just moved.
Ooh, Arizona, 53%?
53% of the vote in for Arizona. And guess what, Fabian? Even better. It just moved from toss-up to lean right, with Trump taking the lead. Small
that
lead,
is a small lead, margin, 3,000.
But the fact that it's lean right is telling me that most likely, if we take a zoom in here,
I would love to see certain counties like Maricopa County.
Look at Pima first. We need to just take a second and look at what is happening in Pima. Now, I don't want to speak ahead of myself, but from everything I saw Charlie Kirk report, and he knows Arizona more than anybody, is that Pima is actually overwhelmingly doing great for Republicans. This is their stronghold for Democrats, and it doesn't look like they're doing like the 75, 85 type stuff that we're seeing in the counties in Atlanta, Georgia.
That's almost 60-40.
Yeah, exactly. So, Fabian, why don't we look at Maricopa County real quickly? It's split.
Wow, that is close.
Split right now with also 54% of the vote. And so one thing that I want everybody to notice here is that means with Coconino County, and that's a pretty small county, so that's fine. But the main counties, Maricopa County and Pima County, more than half of the ballots are in. It's really close. What does that mean, though? That means that some of the other counties, like Yuma County. Can you
zoom in a little bit?
Yeah. Is this better?
Yeah.
Yeah. So other counties like Yuma County, which, as you guys can see, splitting 65-35 for Trump. La Paz County, Mohave County, 75% to 25%. These counties still haven't reported. Well, they're reporting just as much, actually, as the other counties. But that means that
that's going to be close.
That's going to be close. It's going to be like 10, 20,000 in Arizona.
Yeah. Literally every vote counts there. Every vote counts in Georgia. Every vote counts in Pennsylvania. Every vote counts. There's so many votes that count, and people say they don't.
this is what I wanted to give you a bigger update of, is that New York Times is now officially in North
Can you zoom in?
Carolina. Yep. North Carolina is now solid red with a check mark with Trump.
Oh,
That means that
wow.
it is now in the pocket for Trump. Huge.
Chalk those up, baby.
Huge.
Chalk up those electoral votes.
I did not have that. I predicted that North Carolina would fall for Democrats. I still thought that Trump would win the electoral college, but the reason is that because Asheville, a very, very popular city on the East Coast for young people to move to, especially from very expensive areas.
Yeah.
So, for example, if people that traditionally you would find them in New York City, being liberals or progressives, well, you would probably find them now in Asheville. It's cheaper, but it is the New York City vibes, and it's very attractive. So I thought North Carolina would fall for those reasons. Raleigh is one of the, I think it is the, what is it called? Like the most amount of people moving there per capita or whatever it is. Yeah. So,
interesting.
Yeah, absolutely interesting.
So, okay,
I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, I want to bring up California for a second.
Yes, please do.
Because this is interesting. So
give me the goods.
We have Steve Garvey versus Adam Schiff. There's how much of the result is in? 3 court results. All right, let's see what the vote. Okay, so obviously Kamala Harris is beating Trump right now.
What a surprise.
60 to 40 basically, but this is not telling me what total results are in. There's only about 2 million votes that have been counted. Let me see if I can find a better one here. Oh, much better. Okay, so Kamala's beating Trump. We know that. Now, the Senate, unfortunately, I wanted Steve Garvey to win. He's the Republican candidate. Unfortunately, it looks like with 17% of the votes that Adam Schiff is going to win. I haven't gone through all the counties here, but I mean, looks like Los Angeles County hasn't even been counted, which is huge. So I don't see him winning. I mean, he's already been declared. So that's unfortunate. But I wanted to see some different races here because we do have Adam Schiff's seat and we have some propositions. So for everyone in California, this is for you. The issue, the bonds for public education, looks like with 14% of the voted, it's leading 56%. The constitutional right to marry is winning 62%. They're going to amend the Constitution to remove some language. A bond for natural resource conservation. This is the climate change bond. Somehow it's a $10 billion bond that the state wants to issue for climate change, and it's winning 57%, unfortunately. It looks like this is the one that I wanted to check out here. For the district attorney race, we don't have any numbers here yet, but this is George Gascon versus Nathan Hochman, who we had on the show just a few days ago. He's a district attorney who is trying to clean Los Angeles up, and Gascon is the George Soros-funded district attorney that just refuses to prosecute crime. So that's what's happening in California so far.
That's exciting news, actually. It looks like it's progressing pretty well there.
Yeah.
To go back to that map right there, our beautiful map of the night, is I want to give you another update that's coming out of Pennsylvania. Now with 77% of the vote in, Trump is almost at a 200,000 vote lead. Again, guys, this is really impressive. Why? Because majority of these blue counties, like Philadelphia County, 77% of the vote in. All right, not much left there. So let's look at. You're gonna have to help me the whole night.
Yeah, Allegheny. Well, over 95% of the vote is in.
That's done, right? Let's look at Leahy County, right? This is home to Allentown, another pretty big city. 85% of the vote in, and she's not winning it by much. No, it's a 5% difference there, right? So majority of the big Democrat strongholds, Erie, gone. Right. I mean, okay, so Erie has about another 50% left, but again, not an impressive lead there, right? It looks like, wow. Wow. I'm pretty sure we just won the Senate majority.
Really?
Yeah. I just got a notification
this early.
Up there. Yeah, because we just needed to win 2 seats. Democrats had to defend a lot of seats.
Yeah.
But we had to just win 2 seats in order to have majority in the Senate, and If we can confirm that, we can make a. Oh my God! But let's just share this tab real
What's going on,
quickly.
David?
So decision desk is now
Oh,
just. We're
geez.
just
Zoom in a lot. Zoom in a lot because you can't see it at all.
Now, I mean, there it is. This is the beautiful picture. President win chance. Trump is now at 87.2%, skyrocketing. So, and it's on par probably with New York Times, right? 88% from the New York Times.
Yep.
Guys, again, and I understand, right? People are probably like, well, we remember this from 2020. This is exactly how 2020 was. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to wake up and it's going to be completely different. Fabian, for the third time, you do it real nice and very. Why should people be pretty confident when they go to sleep tonight with where we're at so far?
So what's been happening ever since since 2020 is because I need to verify some activity on TikTok. It thinks I'm inactive for some reason. So what's happened since the last election is that many states have taken active measures, partly because of the RNC and the GOP have finally taken amongst themselves and light a fire under their ass to actually change election laws and make sure that we have secure elections. I credit Tyler Boyer and Scott Pressler. Tyler Boyer from Turning Point USA and Scott Pressler, who works with the Trump campaign, in charge of their Pennsylvania GOTV, which is doing incredibly well. I mean, that guy needs to get a raise. Whatever he's doing is working. So things like that. There's been a lot of laws that have been changed. We've had the Supreme Court weighing on laws. We've had stipulations where people can't vote after voting ends. I know, which sounds very common sense, but that is not what was happening. In addition to that, the RNC has 500 lawyers in every single swing state, meaning on the ground, ready to do anything at any moment's notice, file any kind of motion, file a lawsuit, contest things. You have public poll watchers like we didn't have before. You had situations even earlier, I think it was today or yesterday morning, where they didn't allow the poll watchers to actually see what was happening. Immediately, the lawyers got on it, and the GOP said, hey, we fixed it. They're allowed in now. They have been on it at every single step. And it's unfortunate that didn't happen before, but sometimes things like 2020 have to happen to really shock people into the way they're doing things. So thousands of lawyers on the ground, much more stricter rules this time, less mail-in ballots overall, because we're not in a COVID time. All of those factors leading me to believe, and again, I don't want to get too excited here, even though I'm seeing 88% on New York Times that Trump is going to win. It's still hard for me to actually accept it because that exact reason I just talked about, that I'm, it's like, do as I say, not as I do.
Too early to cry. It's too early to cry.
But I mean, this is honestly going better than even I expected.
Absolutely. And I think you said it perfectly there. The main thing, guys, is that the majority of these counties that are homes to the big metropolitan areas, whether they're Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Detroit, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Georgia, all of these places, majority of the counties that represent those cities have already counted their ballots.
Yep.
Guys, literally, they would have to pull the craziest shenanigans because they would have to say, like, for Fulton County.
Whoa.
Yep. Go ahead. Yep. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have?
It is so as you can see there, we have 47.8% versus Trump's 51.3%. So the margin seems to be widening.
It's more than 200,000 now. Remember, I just said it was 200,000.
Oh, it's just about 200.
Oh,
yeah. It's about 190.
That's 8. That's an 8. Sorry.
Yeah,
I thought that was 556.
It's about 190. But I'd love to see what counties here.
Let's take a second for our TikToks, guys.
Yeah,
if you're watching us on TikTok, we so appreciate it. But what we're actually doing and what we're looking at is that we're on a live stream right now. Hey, Fabian's TikTok. What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a great night with us. But make sure that you guys go to our links in our bio, go to our YouTube or our X account, and we're live right now. You can hear a better audio through our mics, and most importantly, see the maps that we're looking at. Like the whole night, we've been looking at Pennsylvania, Georgia, Wisconsin. We're going down deep into the details of what the news does. So screw the news. Come on YouTube, come on Twitter, come join the alternative media on here, join Breakaway USA, and catch us on YouTube so you can hear it better and see actually what we're doing. So, but Fabian, what are we looking at?
So I'm just looking at Pennsylvania here. I want to get the updated numbers. Allegheny County, County of Pittsburgh, over 95% of the votes in. Do we know the numbers from 2020 for Allegheny County?
Yeah, they were 60-40.
60-40, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So nothing really changed there. Philadelphia County, 77% of the votes are in.
I can tell you actually, because we didn't look that one up. What was the county name?
Philadelphia County. We have 77% of the votes in. She has about a, let's say, 300,000 lead. This is the only thing I'm worried about, because we still have, well, not that worried about, but we do have a 200,000 lead, about a 200,000 vote lead in Pennsylvania. She's leading by 300,000. 70% are in. So let's say a quarter of those are still left over. So what's a quarter of 500? What? Like 15-ish?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's not that too bad.
No, not
bad at all.
Not bad at all.
It sounded a lot worse than it was.
I think the main thing for me here is that the indicators here, that now the New York Times is indicating that these toss-up states are no longer a toss-up state. It is now leaning R.
Yeah,
leaning
that's
R.
big.
That's
big.
Huge.
That's
seriously.
Big.
I can't tell you how big that is. And one key thing that I just want to keep reminding people is that when you look at Wisconsin and you see that, X amount of, ballots are counted or whatever, just remember the 30,000 in Milwaukee. And we've already determined that about 23,000. So he needs to maintain more than a 23,000 lead, which right now looks pretty promisable. He has literally 73,000 lead right now with 70% of them voted in. So
that's great.
It's great. Great stuff. It's looking good. Pennsylvania is looking good too. Georgia's good. Just waiting for another ballot dump from Arizona so we can see what's up. It hasn't moved whatsoever.
So actually, this is from for the Pennsylvania election results. So it says race leans towards Trump. Chance of winning, 71% chance of winning Pennsylvania.
That's incredible.
Trump, 1.9. 71% chance of winning. That's a massive percent.
That is.
And if we go to other states, it's very similar.
Yeah. I want to look. Why don't we check the Senate too?
Yeah, let's check the Senate.
I'll find this. Okay, so currently,
whoa.
Mm-hmm.
It just says 89% chance of winning
the
right
Senate
now.
Majority, or
no,
the presidency.
This is for the presidency.
Okay, so let's see. With the Senate, we don't have too much information yet. What we have so far, I can share actually my screen. So this is the Senate map right now. Republicans already have 49 seats, so that's nice. We need just 2 more seats and we can have majority. So I guess the important ones haven't been called yet. But we have secured 2 of the 4 seats that we have to have to keep them, right? And then uncalled key states are the ones that are here in the middle. So we have Arizona, Michigan, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Texas, and Wisconsin. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from here.
In all likelihood, it's still hard for me to actually accept this, but in all likelihood, it looks like Trump's going to win. And what is everyone said? A fucking landslide victory.
Wow.
A landslide victory.
Landslide victory. I mean, this is
the biggest
crazy.
victory anyone's ever seen. And it's more than likely that the Republicans are also going to control the House and the Senate, which is exactly what they needed to not have Trump be stifled by Congress enacting things, because you have a Democratic majority in the House and the Senate. This is where he's going to have all 3 houses so he can pass things. And the bigger the majority on the Republican side, the more we can shut down this wasteful government spending, the more that they can allow Elon Musk and Ron Paul, out of all people, in the Government Efficiency Committee.
Can you imagine that? I mean, my friend, literally, that's all he cares about. He's like, dude, Ron Paul might be in the government now, trying to make the government smaller. You can see this that I zoomed in on Pennsylvania.
Yep.
We are now at 81% of the votes. And last time we updated, it was 77%. And now he did extend that lead to over 200,000.
Wow.
Or actually, it just jumped again. It's just under 2,000.
Yeah.
So he has 2,871,000. She has 2,673,000.
Wow. Well, it's the polls continue to come in.
Yep.
Maybe we can come back later and do a stream and just kind of do the numbers but I mean, listen, everything is looking incredibly good for Trump. It's I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just
I think that says it all. And we'll wrap it up with that for now. I think we'll be back later here, guys. And I'm thankful that we so far haven't had to take a trip to Atlanta, Georgia. We are in Atlanta, Georgia, but down to where they're doing the tabulations, because we're ready any second. If anything happens, we'll be boots on the ground. We'll be seeing what's going on, reporting straight from there. And maybe join back in an hour or so. Maybe we'll go live again. Maybe we'll be celebrating with some champagne, hopefully. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I'm feeling good, Fabian. I'm feeling good. That's how I'm gonna end it for it.
Yeah,
so.
we gotta end it with that.
All right.
Well, thank you guys for sticking around so long. We really appreciate it, and we will see you soon.
Yep.